Hi there my love, this is Jana here. Welcome to my kitchen. So today I'm going to make a cake that it's by far my favorite. And did you hear by far? It's because it's cinnamon. It's cinnamon monkey cake. So it's amazing because you pull apart, and each and every piece you pull apart, you have this decadent, sweet, cinnamony glaze. And what could be better? It's winter, it matches this type of a cake, and come on, it's cinnamon, right? So let me show you how I put it together. To a mixing bowl, we're going to add flour, sugar, a pinch of salt, yeast, lukewarm water, and vegetable oil or butter. So okay, have you noticed that I put everything together and mixed it up as opposed to put to add the liquids and then the solids and then mix it up? I was like, okay, I'm gonna start over. And then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna start over. I'm gonna see if it's gonna work because I know it's gonna work. It does work, you know. It's just, you just need a little bit more time to mix it, to incorporate everything together, but it works. I mean, you know what? There are some mistakes and some, what is the word? Myths, not mistakes, myths that in the kitchen that sometimes we need to overcome, you know. It will work. Just you're going to need a little bit more time incorporating everything together, but don't worry, all right? Now, about the water, it cannot be hot. You gotta stick your finger in the water, and it's supposed to be comfortable, I mean warm. So you mix everything together, and then you might need to add a little bit more of water because, as I keep repeating every time I bake something, bread or a cake, especially bread. Cake is a little bit more precise, the recipe, but the water and flour, the ratio, it depends on a lot of factors. So you see the consistency of this dough? It's supposed to be a little bit more to the wet side. It's supposed to stick to your fingers a little bit because as you knead it along, the gluten is going to develop and it's going to incorporate everything together. So resist the urge to add more flour because the right consistency, the consistency to make the little balls and put them together, you will be achieved at the end of the kneading or the proofing process. Another thing, have you noticed that I didn't knead it? I just mixed it up and then I kneaded just a little bit. Now let me explain something to you guys. For a bread to raise, it depends on two factors. Either the gluten will be developed by using time, i.e. you're going to allow the dough to rest and therefore it's going to raise, so you're using time for the gluten to be developed, or you're going to use the kneading process, okay? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use time because I wanted to show you guys that this method works well. So we're going to mix it up, everything. You can knead a little bit, of course. You need to incorporate, like I said, everything together. And the best way of doing that is kneading for 2-3 minutes, but it's not going to be 10-20, okay? We're going to use the resting method, okay? It's easy if you have time. I mean, you can choose either or. I will leave the recipe below under the video. Everything explained very well, so you don't get confused, but I don't think it's anything confusing so far, right? Now, we're going to rub a little bit of oil, a little bit of oil, okay, on the surface of the dough and cover it, and we're going to allow it to rest in a warm environment next to a window but not direct sun, okay? Because if it raises too much, if it inflates too much at this step, it will deflate in the oven. So we wait for the resting time. So while the dough is proofing, we're going to make the delicious sugary cinnamony mix, which is going to turn into a glaze, okay? Because the sugar is going to melt and it's going to be, you know, just Now we add to a bowl sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and we're going to melt some vegan butter in the microwave. My experience tells me that too much cinnamon turns the food, the cakes or whatever you're using the cinnamon for. If you add too much, you're going to end up with a little bit of a bitter taste recipe. You know that because cinnamon has a lot of tannins. Tannins are that substance that gives you that chalky sensation on the back of your tongue. You know when you drink a cold tea, unsweetened cold tea, and you get that thing in your tongue when you drink a wine that it has too much tannins present in the wine. So that's what I don't want. So in my opinion, I think less cinnamon is better, but you can add 2 teaspoons. I added 1.5 teaspoons and it was perfect. You know, so the flavor was there, it was perfect. A little bit more, it bothers me, but if you want to do it, go for it. You see now that it almost or completely doubled in size. Now we're going to knead it a little bit, and we're going to stretch it with the help of a rolling pin or a wine bottle. Dust it a little bit of flour, okay? Because the reason why we dust it in a clean and dry surface is very important. The surface needs to be very dry. It's because we don't want the dough, that it's a little bit more moist, remember, to stick to the surface, to the rolling pin, or to your hands. So it's just a little bit. Now you stretch it into a rectangle like that. And now we're going to cut it into little squares, which are going to be the little balls. And now we're going to take those little balls and we're going to drop it in the cinnamon and sugar mix, and we're going to turn them around and mix them around, and we're going to place them in a previously greased baking dish or a cake dish or a cake mold, whatever you want to use. I will leave the measurements below, okay? And you add a little bit, and then you dust a little bit more of the mixture, and then a little bit of the melted butter. And then repeat, but you will finish with some more, now be a little bit more generous, of the cinnamon sugar mix on top. Pop it in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, 356 Fahrenheit, and observe, okay? You know your oven. It might be a little bit less, a little bit more, so you know what to do in this case. If I could show you somehow how much you mean to me, if you could only see, baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you can make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you to myself. No one but you can make me feel the way I do. Baby, you know I don't want anybody else. No one but you can make me feel the way I do. All that I want is to have you to myself. No one but you can make me feel the way I do, the way I do. Look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? It's just a work of art, isn't it? It's just perfect. Isn't it perfect? The reason why I'm wearing those mittens is because the bear claw mittens is because, you guys, every time I use something that I make a recipe where I need to remove something from the oven. This is my doggy drinking water. And somebody decided to make holes in the wall because, right, why not? It's just when I decide to film. But we're fine, we're gonna be fine. Back to the recipe, back to the mittens. It's going to be linked in my Amazon shop, down below as well, along with the recipe. You know what, do you wanna see the damage? All right. This was just me. It was just me. Yeah, because I'm like, oh my God. It's like, let me tell you what it is. It's so good. And the amount of sugar is just so right that It's very difficult to control yourself, you know, and okay, not very good for the waistline, but it's good for the heart. It makes you feel like, oh, so comforted, so good, okay, I'm gonna stop talking because I get carried away because I love my recipes, because I only bring to you guys the recipes that I absolutely adore. I don't care if they're trending on YouTube or whatever. I do not care. If I don't love it, if I don't think it's amazing, if I don't think they're easy and beautiful, I won't make it because I love you. So make it, let me know, and follow me on my social media. Is going to be linked over here, and also follow me on my channel. Aren't you following me? Why? It's free. Follow me. You're gonna love it. We have a lot of fun. We make a lot of recipes. And I was gonna say something that is very important. Share this video and make this for your family. It's so easy. You see how easy it is? It's very easy. That's how we roll here. Our recipes look like you've been slaving away in the kitchen, but they're not like that because we don't have time for that. All right, my lovely. See you next time. Have a fabulous week. Bye-bye.